Hey again, it's Pastor Atul and I want to welcome you to day 2 of the Daily Walk. I hope you were able to check out our first video in the series. If not, feel free to go back, catch up. It is not too late. Otherwise, let's begin. Our passage for today is Philippians chapter 1, verses 7 and 8. Once again, we are using the NIV translation of the text. And so if you haven't read it yet, I encourage you to pause the video here. Take a moment, slowly read the passage before joining us in the study. So I talked in the first video about how I like to use the oil method when I'm studying the word. And you'll see some other things as we move forward, but today it's going to be a lot of the same things. You're going to see a lot of underlining and circling, some brackets. I try to keep it pretty simple. I'm not that creative. And so hopefully over time, it'll become a more familiar option for you guys to use in your own personal study. So starting in verse 7, just going with the flow, I like the phrase that Paul uses right away about it feeling right for him to feel this way. I like that word right. It's like he's justified for all the positive feelings he expressed in verses 1 and 6. He goes on to mention how he has them in his heart, whether in chains or defending or confirming the gospel. And I have to say, among all this praise, this part feels like a little bit weird of an interjection, and it's oddly specific of a situation. So much so that we could probably guess that this right here is actually Paul's exact situation. I cheated. I kind of looked at the commentaries beforehand, and so I know that exactly is Paul's situation. And this is great because the more facts we could gather about the author, the better. And so let's keep going. He continues on to say that they're sharing in God's grace. They're actually sharing in God's grace with him, that he longs for all of them. I love that word, longs. He yearns for them to a degree. And this just kind of gave me an idea of Paul's connectedness to this church. And it kind of reminded me actually of, I think it's verse 5, where he's talking about their partnership with him in the gospel. And so you can see how often he actually even uses the phrase, all of you. Just in these couple verses alone right here, he says, all of you. And again, early on, he says, all of you. And if you actually go further back, you'll see he uses it a lot more. So it's apparent that he's continuing his encouragement to this young church. You probably remember all his talk day 1 about joy and being thankful for them and feeling almost a kindred spirit with them. It's almost profound. It seems like he's saying that although he's in prison miles away from them, that he still sees them as partners in his mission. They're sharing in his grace. It's like Paul wants to make sure that the church in Philippi knows how much their encouragement continues to spur him on to what God has called him to do. Part of me wonders if this small persecuted church was shocked to hear how glowingly Paul talked about them. I feel like they might have been stunned at how much their lives and love meant to Paul. How much it helped lift his spirits, even in his imprisonment. You have to think that for them, they're receiving this as some sort of encouragement to continue partnering and encouraging people who are doing the work of the Lord. Immediately, this actually made me think of people in my own life that have been a source of encouragement to me. The people who were willing to listen to me in tough times or reach out when they knew I was struggling. I thought about how often I failed to let those people know what a gift they are to me. How joyful I get when I think of all the ways they've supported me when I needed help the most. I have to believe that you have those people in your life as well. Maybe it's been a long time since you let them know how much you value them and their lives. Maybe today you could just take some time to reach out. Let them know how they've blessed you. Let them know that you missed them and hope to see them again. Go out of your way to honor somebody who has encouraged you through their partnership in your life. And with that, see you next time.